Has the NFL changed forever? We're going to talk about that and much more next.
Yo, what's up, our beautiful people? It's Last Second Sports, where we giving our take down to the last second. It's your boy Rad out here in Rip City, Portland, Oregon, repping them Detroit Lions. And we got a show tonight, baby. But let me get that guy out there on the East Coast, the worst coast. My main man, J-Nay, repping them San Fran 49ers. What's happening, Brody?
It's a beautiful night here in Tampa, Florida, Rad. Even though the East Coast is the worst coast, according to you, I disagree. But that being said, actually, you know what? You always ask me how I'm doing. I want to know, Rad, how are you doing?
It's a beautiful night out here in Portland,
You're
Oregon.
Lying. That's a lie.
It is a beautiful night. It was like 70 degrees today. Okay. The sun is still beaming over there. I mean, the sun going. I don't think it was any rain. I got a full stomach. I'm here on a full stomach. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm very full, but I'm ready to talk some sports with you, baby. We talking Lions, Niners, NFL. We about to just rap on the mic. What's happening?
Let's get it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so far, pretty much free agency. It's not fully done. You're gonna have the late waves. There's still some big names out there. But I think, at least for the 49ers are basically done in free agency. At least that's the way it feels right now. And I got to assume the Lions are probably close to that, even though you guys are sitting on some top tier money at this point. So with that being said, let's get a picture of where these teams are and let's give them a grade, and then we'll get into what we would change. But first, just overall, how would you grade the free agency for the Detroit Lions to this point?
We did a lot of retaining our same players that we got that 3-13 in one record with. Not saying they're bad players, but I want to see some upgrade in talent. And Brad Holmes touched on it. It's kind of like, the grass ain't always green on the other side. You go out and bring in new talent. It could just be a waste because we already know what we're getting out of these guys. They already know our system. They've bought into the culture. He broke it down kind of well where he sold me on it. Like, oh, I get what you're saying, Brad. Like, yeah, it makes sense. You go out and spend big money on somebody who is not a culture fit, can't pick up the scheme. You really don't know what you're getting in our scheme. So signing wise, I like the Tracy Walker signing. I like the DJ Chark. Alex Anzalone was solid. I like the contracts we gave out. We didn't overpay or put people on 3-4 year deals. No, we got you on 1 year prove it deals again. I think we could have splurged, though. I still feel like we still have some holes on that defense because, like I preach, is that nobody fears anyone on our defense. When you line up, you're the opposing quarterback. You're not spotlighting anybody on the defense, finding out where they at. Like, we just still don't have that factor yet. We're missing that. But overall grade, I'll give it a B minus. B as in Bravo minus. Because I needed somebody on that defense that's going to scare somebody. Like, I would still love to go out and sign Honey Badger. Like, you need to spotlight
the choir.
You got to spotlight where Honey Badger is. You need to find out if he's in the slot, in the box, high, or out there on the outside. Because he's going to make some plays. We both love Honey Badger. He's a playmaker. He's disruptive. He plays with reckless abandon. I love it. So, B minus. I didn't want to give us the C. What's up, Ken? Shout out to the chat. We appreciate y'all.
He gave him a C. He gave him a C.
He gave him a C. I didn't want to give the C. Like, I'm trying to be nice because Brad Holmes, he sold me on a little bit. It didn't make sense, but there's still some nice players still out there you can go grab, and then I'm sure there's going to be more cuts after training camp as far as like veterans and things like that. So we'll be still sitting on a little paper and bringing somebody who can possibly make a difference on the defense. Offensively, I feel like we still have a few holes, but for the most part, if we brought this lineup we got right now out, I'd be okay with it. Solid receiving core, tight ends back, O line's intact, and we ready to wrap.
And you got 2 first-round picks. That's never a bad thing. You
Yeah,
guys
we
can
got the
get better.
second and the last. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I will talk. Are we talking draft too? I know what I
We
want to
will.
do in the
We'll get
draft.
there.
I
We'll
know
get
what I
there.
want to do because yeah, B minus. We retain our players. They solid. I like the DJ Chark and re-signing of Tracy Walker. So I'm not mad, but I'm not like pumped, ecstatic. I'd rather be sitting how we're sitting as opposed to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was just overpaying people and grabbing who they can. Nah, I don't want to go that route. They was signing everybody and their cousin. Nah, I'm cool on that.
They also have a legit future quarterback, but I feel like we get this question every week,
Wait a
and
minute. Wait,
they just want you. But
they also have a future quarterback.
they do.
Look,
Come on,
leave
all right.
Goffle alone.
Anyways,
Leave Goffle alone.
exactly.
Goffle
But
is better than Jimmy G.
there we go. I knew that was coming, but
He is.
maybe Gold Rush hasn't heard it yet, but he's it. Go listen to last week's show if you want to get Rad's opinions of Jimmy G. He goes all the way in. I thought it was hilarious. He said
buns.
that Jimmy G
I'll
was going to get traded for a Fanta. So, that's where he's at with the things.
He's staying on the roster now, right? He'll be there for moral support for Trey Lance and
Trey Lance. Yeah.
That's things like that.
That's it. So
He's
all right. Let's talk
money.
49ers. I'm in that same range. I'm probably going to say a C plus. I really do. Here's the thing. If I can separate, there's 2 things here that are bringing that down, right? And I'll talk about those in a second. But just the free agency and what they've done, I'd probably give them a solid B. But because they got better at corner, they brought in special teams, 3 special teams aces to get better, and I do love that, right? Special teams is kind of the forgotten thing. When people talk, I hear it all the time in spaces. People talk about the 49ers, they talk about the offense, they talk about the defense. Nobody ever talks about special teams. Special teams will win you a game now. We saw that against Green Bay to go to the NFC Championship. So
yeah.
Special teams is important, and they made a major upgrade in special teams. So you've got to talk about that. I feel like they're better on defense slightly than what they were to end the season. And when I look at the offensive line, sure, there's some question marks there. But the 49ers certainly weren't going to pay Lakin $14 million. They drafted Banks in round 2. The expectation is that your second round pick, after sitting for a year, should be able to play. So I'm okay with where they're at. And then Trey Lance is better than Jimmy. Overall, I like what they've done as far as free agency itself goes. If I just look at the moves they've made, the moves they haven't made is what brings that down, right? You just talked about Jimmy, and I know we've joked about it last week, but we got to, that plays into things. I certainly wish Jimmy was gone, because if Jimmy was gone, they could have made a splash, another splash. Doesn't mean they would have, but they certainly could have. They would have had that flexibility. And when you look at Deebo Samuel still not being signed, now they typically do extend a little bit later into the offseason. This is kind of what they've always done. But I just want to make sure that they get out ahead of some of those other contracts. I want to make sure that they get out ahead of the Cooper Kupps, the DK Metcalfs, the AJ Browns, the Terry McLaurins. I want them to get ahead of those so that they don't overpay, right? Because I think Deebo certainly deserves to be paid. He's going to get paid. But if you're last to that party, you're going to pay him more. So those things all add up to me.
Correct.
That's why I have to bring it down to a C plus, but certainly a solid B, maybe even a B plus if I just look at what they've done. Heck, they just brought back Kerry Hyder. I know you like Kerry Hyder.
I do. He's a hard player.
Lion.
He plays hard.
So they lost Arden Key, but they brought back Hyder. They're both 1-year deals. I don't think they got really any worse there. They might have gotten better. True. Hyder's proven twice now that he can be good with Chris Kosaric. In fact, without Bosa, he was better.
He was solid.
Stat-wise, he was better than Arden Key, who played with Bosa. So,
yeah,
Hyder's a good pickup. If you're going to lose Key, there's some things that I think that they'll do, and we'll talk about that here in a minute with the draft. But overall, that's where I sit with the 49ers. and you just have to take everything all in. And that's why I say please say C plus. But if those other things had been taken care of, it certainly could be even a B plus.
I got you. I mean, there's just so many moves I would have made differently.
Well, let's talk about it. What moves would you have made?
I would have really targeted Marcus Williams. So now we go into the draft, and we really ain't. I mean, we got a nice playmaker in the defense. We re-signed Tracy Walker, who's the quarterback of that back end, and now we're not. I like Kyle Hamilton. Like, I think he's one of the better players in this draft, but we still have so many needs. I wanted to go into the draft not having a lot of needs. Now we can just honestly just pick the best player available at 2. That's what I wanted to do. If we didn't get Marcus Williams, go get somebody. I like Jordan Whitehead. I think he's a solid safety. He's always around the football. He plays fast. This 4th, 5th year in the game, so he's got a lot of snaps under his belt. I would have really addressed safety somehow. We're coming back with the same safeties, and it's just not. It's not a good look. Cornerback, we're solid. I do like we went and got a veteran. He's going to be a good pickup. We're getting Okuda back. Linebacker is still one of the weakest points of the defense. Bringing back Jerry Davis, that's terrible. That's terrible. Only good thing about it is the contract. He has no guaranteed money. He's really on like you better show up during training camp and preseason or we're cutting you, Bubba. Like, and I love it. When I seen the contract details, like, okay, we're not even tied to this dude. Perfect. Because I think he's buns. He graded out the worst linebacker in the NFL last year. And then he didn't play well for us under Matt Patricia. I get it. He's not a 3-4 linebacker. He is a 4-3 linebacker. And we're about to run like a 4-3, 4-2-5. So it could be scheme. He could be a better scheme fit this time around. But my hopes aren't very high for him. D-line, Charles Harris, he proved that he should get retained. I like Charles Harris. He had some dominant games for us. We put him on that prove-it deal last year, and he proved that he deserves some money. Okay, cool. But we didn't address the secondary, and we didn't address linebacker. Now we're still going in here with 2 big needs in the draft. While on the other side of the ball, we did grab our receiver, Chark. I think he can prove to be a number 1. He's shown that he can be over 1,000-yard receiver when healthy. Our receiving core got better by bringing him in and Josh Reynolds back. Now we just need to get like a backup offensive lineman. It's just that defense. I want us to just plug away at that defense. I would have tried to get Miles Jack. DJ Chark tried to recruit him when the Jags cut him. I'm not saying Miles Jack is just some superstar linebacker, but he would have been hands down the best linebacker on our team. Like, hands down, he's better than Alex Anzalone.
Yeah,
I would have tried to recruit him. I would have tried to get him, and he didn't even get paid that much. I forgot where he went, but he didn't sign a huge deal. Like, we could have got him on a prove-it deal. Like, okay, we'll give you a shot. You come in here, you're a culture fit, and you make some plays. Boom, we'll give you that money next year. It was just some players out there I feel like we could have targeted. Jordan Whitehead could have been the backup safety if we missed out on Marcus Williams. Miles Jack at linebacker. I was hoping and praying for Bobby Wagner, but I knew he wasn't coming to Detroit because the Rams somehow – they cooking the books over there. I know this is off topic. I don't know how the Rams keep just getting everybody.
I can tell you how they did it.
I would love to know after this because they're cooking the books. It's something going on.
Give me 10 seconds. I'll tell you how they did it.
Tell me.
First of all, Gurley and Goff are off the books this year. That was huge cap hits.
Okay.
They re-signed Stafford, which saved around $15 million. They still have the opportunity to extend Donald, which would be if they extend him, it's $10 million. If they restructure, it's $8 million, or maybe that's vice versa. And they don't have a pick in the first 100 picks, which means what the money they have to set aside for their
they don't have to for the
draft picks, they don't have to. So they actually are in a much better cap space this offseason than what they were last offseason.
To answer Swan Song, I'll take Greenlaw.
I think that's a great, actually,
I take him.
That is a great trade because the 49ers, I think, could shop him. I think he'd probably go for around a 4th. This man is a good linebacker.
I know Greenlaw is.
Yeah. I mean, he got a pick 6 against you guys. Of course you know him.
I don't remember that. Anyways, I'd trade for Greenlaw. He got a pick 6. Keep all that to yourself. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to hear that. But yeah, I would take a guy like that. I wanted us to go get somebody on the defense that somebody can respect. Don't nobody respect nobody on our defense, and it's grinding my gears, bud. So that's what I would have did different. I'd have went out and got somebody that's like a playmaker. Honey Badger's still out there. I'll move some money around to go get him. I know he's getting he's in his 30s now, early.
No,
He's still,
no. He's 29. He's going to play next season at 30.
Great. Go get him. I give him 10 mil, 1 year, 2 year deals. Let's go. That is insane. A playmaker, bro. He's a ball hawk. He's going to help you in the run and pass game. Like, we need somebody where they need to know where's this dude at when they line up on the offense. Like, well, okay, where he at? We have nobody. So hopefully we hit in the draft. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but I just want to go get somebody defensively that somebody got to put some respect on our name, and we still don't have it.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much the changes I would have made. I talked about Jimmy, right? Obviously, Jimmy not on this roster. That has to happen in order for the other things to fall in place. But for me, I love that they upgraded at corner. I do not hate that at all. And I think Charvarius Ward really is a long-term play because he's a press man guy. And so is Ambry Thomas. I think that's more about, yes, that's adding depth this year, but I think that's 2-3 years down the line. Maybe Emmanuel Mosley doesn't come back after this next season. Maybe he prices himself out because he's a pretty good corner, but they can play true cover one man with Ambry Thomas and Charvarius Ward. So I really do like that signing. But that being said, the way I would have fixed a secondary is by getting Honey Badger. Like, that's what I would have done, because I look at him and Ward are interchangeable. Ward already gets to roam and do some great things, but if you had a running mate like Honey Badger to where they can just play off of each other and rotate and do whatever, one could even play nickel in pinches. I just think that would have been a way to fix the secondary. That's how I would have done it. I also would have signed a guy, a true bona fide pass rusher, whether that was Hassan Reddick, Chandler Jones, something like that. That's what I would have gone after. But overall, again, I am happy with what they've done. But for me, Tyrann Mathieu was like the big ticket guy that I really wanted the 49ers to get. And maybe there's still a chance. He's obviously still out there. He's not signed. I've got to imagine he wants to play for a contender. But right now, it hasn't happened. And that's one move I really, really wish the Niners would have made. So for me, that's where I would have made some of the changes. Now, people are asking about drafts. What should the Lions do in the draft? And we're going to get there actually in a second. But I do want to talk about one thing, because so for those of you that are members of the channel, and I see a few of you in here, Swan Song, Niner Sickness, and a couple others. For those of you that are members, you get to see these breakdowns that I've done. And today, Rad actually put out his top 5 safeties, which I think is great because the 49ers also need a safety, right? And so you put that out for the members only today, but you had Petrie at 3. So I'm obviously not going to give away the whole list because it's exclusive, but you did have Petrie at 3, right?
Exclusive.
And for me, Petrie is a guy.
Become a member.
There you go. I've also got the film breakdown of Petrie in that same exclusive membership. So with that being said, when I broke down Petrie, it was the craziest thing. I heard so many good things about him, right?
He's nice.
Then I get done watching the film. Normally I'll watch one game. I'll usually watch some of another game and then read about them and then actually watch one full game for the breakdowns for the Patreon and the YouTube members. But I had to go and watch another part of a second game with him, and I still left that breakdown more confused afterwards than what I was going into it. What I thought going in versus what I left with, I was like, can he actually be a safety in the NFL? What were your thoughts? Because the reason I
get what you're saying, because he didn't play deep a lot. He didn't play deep
a lot. Like, really, the guy.
Listen. Really, Petrie's he's a nickel low key. Like, he's a very aggressive nickel that you can move around a little bit. Like, no, he didn't go back much. I don't want to say he did, but he doesn't. But
how many times, Rad? How many times did he go? Did he play deep?
He played 14 times deep.
14 snaps in a full season.
Listen, he can do it though. Okay, he's a fluid athlete. He ran that 4.40 now, so we know what he's about on the speed. And on the film, you can see the guy's got some speed. This is what I loved about Petrie, man. I think he's right, Honey Badger, right there. I think he's the second coming of Honey Badger. The dude is a playmaker near the line of scrimmage. He can blitz very well. He's disruptive in the run plays. He had 18 tackles for loss. That's huge. He's not scared to take on linemen, get through blocks. He blows up bubble screens. You can tell he's really good on his film study. His play recognition is through the roof. When he sees balls, he goes, gets the ball. And he does it very aggressive. He's an outstanding tackler. His man coverage is solid. Zone drops are solid. He's just an all-around playmaker. I think he's a bigger, I hate to call another man thick, but he's a thicker version of Honey Badger. Plain and simple, but
Didn't you get on me for calling somebody thick a couple weeks ago? I'm pretty sure.
I didn't want to that's why I had to pause. He's a bigger.
Is it? Hold on.
He's just a bigger version.
Can I clarify? Can I clarify? 2 C's or 1?
I'm not even going into none of that. I'm not even going to answer that question. Let's just say, not Honey, but you got me. Listen, bro. Petrie, he popped up third on my board because I feel like he can drop back if need be. He doesn't always have to play. I'm not going to have him playing single high. No. He's going to be that safety where, we're in cover 3. We're going to roll him down into the box. You're covering the hook, curl, flat area, things like that. I wouldn't have him as that deep high safety. Now, if you're too high, I think he can. I know he could. I'm pretty sure he could do a cover 2 if need be, or man drop back. He's got to cover half the field. That's not that hard. I know he has that ability. I would never have him playing center field, nothing like that. Where he's going to be suited best is being close to that line of scrimmage, help stopping that run, blowing up anything that comes his way. It don't even got to come his way. He's going to chase it down, bro. Sending him on blitz. He's a great blitzer. I love Petrie. And somehow I want the Lions to finagle to some way to get him on our defense because that's a chess piece right there. We out here playing chess, baby, not checkers. You need multiple different types of players, sizes, skill sets, and he get in where he fit in. And that's why Petrie popped up 3. He almost popped up 2. But number 2 just had a lot of versatility.
Okay. Swan Song wants to know, how do I get it? Swan Song, I don't know if are you a $1.99 member or a $4.99 member? You got to be a $5 membership in order to get the breakdowns. It should be when you sign up. It should, if you go to your membership, there should be a link for you to get to the Google Drive. It'll bring you to a folder and it'll have all the breakdowns in there. And it will have Rad just updated with his top 5 safeties. So
become a member.
You should be able to see that if you are a member for $5 a month. If you're a member for $2, no, sir. All right, so we're going to talk more about Petrie because I'm not done yet.
Hello,
Adrian says, hello, Rad, $1.99. Adrian, I don't listen, man. You used to come in the chats and you would say, what's up to me? And now that's not the case. So
they feeling you, boy.
I'm a little, could you stop with you called another man thick and now you've got
I never called another man thick. Chill out.
No. You certainly did.
Nobody heard
tape. You definitely called someone thick.
You know what? Look, I actually didn't want to say it. I actually paused to let everybody know, hey, it's on its way out. I feel bad, but it is what it is. I mean, I had to get the point across that he's a bigger version of Honey Badger. There it is. Okay.
All right. Well, Adrian, thank you, man.
You know what? I may have called another man thick.
They definitely caught it.
But you got Jimmy G tatted on your back, so I'd rather call another man thick and then have Jimmy G tatted on my back. But we can move on.
Let's move on. I want to tell you something funny about that. Actually, this is really funny timing. No, we're not moving on because he says, let's move on then. Actually, Docious, I want to get back to your comment because you did make a comment that I want to talk about as well. But you talk about this tattoo that I have of Jimmy, and I've recently replaced my camera. I got a new camera, right, a couple months back, and I was messing with some settings, and so I went back, just found an old video with my old camera because I wanted to see what the settings were, and I start out the video talking about getting a Jimmy tramp stamp. So it's funny that we've talked about this now because I've brought it up as well. Maybe this will become a thing and people will actually believe it.
You're nasty.
Docious
You're a filthy
says Honey
animal.
Badger doesn't deserve doesn't have the character that John and Kyle want. Look at the pouting he was doing during the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's my opinion, and what I see in a pattern in players that they pick up. I agree with you. They certainly want high character guys, but I think there's a difference in Honey Badger's quote unquote low character versus, let's say, an Antonio Brown's low character, right? Uh, Antonio Brown's different. Okay, that's a whole different thing. Then you have guys that are low character that are bad off the field. Honey Badger is just super competitive. He wants to
Right.
win.
Right.
Certainly gets fired up. He's Honey Badger's bad for a team like, I don't know, Jalen Ramsey, right? Gets a little fired up, but those guys have both won Super Bowls in the last couple of seasons. So yes, it can get a little out of hand. Maybe you don't like to see it, but that's being
I'm
competitive.
taking Honey Badger.
Listen, here's what it comes down to. I had my son outside. I'm gonna bring this full circle. Just stay with me. I had my son outside. My 7-year-old son plays flag football. He's outside with the two twin boys across the street today that are 9 years old. They're playing one-on-one football, one all-time Q, right? So I hear like them yelling. I'm like, what is going on? So I step out there and I'm listening. And my son, the 7-year-old, and one of the twins, 9-year-old, are just yelling, arguing over if the last play was a penalty. Right. And so I'm thinking to myself at that time, oh, like this is just competitiveness. This is what happens. It's either in you or it's not. Now, the other 9-year-old was not, he didn't care. He's just whatever. I'm here to play. But the other two are just at each other's neck for a good 5 minutes. And then finally, I'm like, all right, guys, if you want to actually play football, you got to stop arguing. Let's settle this debate. The point of that is if a 7 and a 9-year-old can get that heated in competition, imagine what guys that are getting paid millions of dollars in front of the world, how
Right.
heated it can get in those situations. So just take a step back, understand it. That is really a part of the game. That's why we like the game as much as we do. We want these guys to be competitors. Believe it or not, there's a lot of guys in the NFL that just do this because it's their job. So the fact that Honey Badger takes it seriously, that's the type of guy I want in my foxhole. So I'm definitely
100%.
taking Honey Badger, no doubt about it. Okay. Let's talk about actually, no, we're not done talking about Petrie. I got to give my 2 cents. Okay. So yes, sorry, I got so sidetracked there.
You filthy animal.
I left with more questions with Petrie because, to your point, we didn't see him in those single and too high situations. And again, it's not that he can't do it. He's athletic enough to do it.
Right.
But I also think his numbers were a bit inflated. If you just go look at numbers, and I know that you didn't, you obviously watched the film to come to your conclusion, but a lot of people look at the numbers and like, oh my God, like you compare them to the other safeties and they're astronomical. But the reason for that is because he plays the star role. And the star role was something that was put into place at LSU, not necessarily there, but that's where it became popular. The team that won with Joe Burrow, they had a star role. And what it is it's a safety linebacker hybrid role. And you want somebody who's built big, right? Tall, strong, whatever, can play a little bit outside linebacker. You said it. I baited you, but you said it. That can play outside linebacker in a pinch, but also is that third safety. So 49er fans, the way I'm going to talk about this, imagine Hufanga, what he does for the 49ers. That's similar, not fully, but similar style role to what he played in college. He just did it every single down. So Hufanga comes in and spot play and does that. He did it down in and down out. Now, when you watch him in coverage, anything 12 yards and under, blankets, absolutely blankets.
Sure does.
But they never had him drop back more than 15 yards unless his back was to a goal line and he had that protection. So when I look at it, that worries me a little bit. I'm not saying he can't do it. He certainly has the measurables. He certainly is a hell of a football player. I can understand why people would want him. I just have those concerns. We'll see how it plays out when he gets to the NFL.
He's going to be a baller. Stud.
As long as he's used right?
Stud.
Like that's.
I'm telling you, man.
I like
He
him.
just
I
he.
do. I like
I'm
him.
not saying you. I'm not saying you don't like him. I just don't. I don't know. Somehow, if we can finagle and grab him, and I got a way we can do it.
Okay.
I
All right.
do.
Well, let's talk about it.
I
Uh,
do. I mean,
obviously, we're both in the market for safety. We were just talking about safeties. That's clear. What other positions do you want to see the Lions draft, and how do you want them to go about this? And if you
okay.
don't say quarterback,
I got it right here. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
This is how we need to do this. We need to get out of the number 2 pick somehow, some way. I'm not going with that. I don't think any of these guys are worthy to be picked that high. There's no dimes, no tens in this draft. There's a bunch of. I think it's a deep draft.
Before you go, Rad,
Go ahead.
let's
Let my
finish.
man Edgardo.
Let's finish with the thick conversation here. He wants to know, is he Debo thick? That
He's asking
actually
you.
comes from Grant. Grant Grant's got some funny outbursts that people can pull. If you have not seen it, you can definitely check it out. Grant is all in on the Debo thickness, but yeah, Debo's a big guy, man. I mean, you see him next to Alvin Kamara at the Pro Bowl. There's a difference. Like Alvin Kamara looks like a Wes Welker type slot receiver. Debo doesn't. We'll just put it that way. So I appreciate the contribution.
Is Debo?
Appreciate the contribution.
Here's the question.
Here's some love. You know what? Do you know what's happened after tonight? Bro. No, just so you know, we're gonna have a new video next week. Just get ready for it. I'm just letting you know.
Okie dokie.
Get ready for it. Okay.
I don't want no foolishness now. Don't be no fool. Oh, okay. I don't think anybody's worthy of number 2. It's a deep draft. I feel like there's a lot of 8s, 8.5s. There's no 10s. There's no sure hits out here, really. I feel like nobody worthy. So I want us to somehow trade back. I want to get a bunch of draft capital. I'd like to be sitting in that second round. If we can somehow maneuver and get a few second rounds, like Seattle, I'd like to move back, get the 9th, the 40th, and the 41st pick for this 2 pick. Somehow, some way. I want to finagle something like that to where we sitting there with about 3 to 4 second round picks. Now, this is how we need to do, though. First pick, let's say we move back to 9. I don't know if Trayvon Walker's going to be sitting there. We need to get an edge right there somewhere. Okay. If it's George Karlaftis for Purdue, it's him.
What was the name again?
George Karlaftis.
You had an extra syllable or 6 in there, but go ahead.
I don't know. We need to snag an edge. Somehow we need to get a receipt. Those first 4 picks need to go. Let's say we got 4 out of the first 2 rounds. 3 of them need to be defense and 1 need to be wide receiver. Now, the receiver, I don't know. I would love to land Chris Olave. I like him. I like them all. I like Drake London, Garrett Wilson. I don't care who it is. I even like Jahan Dotson. I think he'll be a second rounder, so I think that's someone we probably could snag. We need to somehow, I think, finagle and get Petrie. I think he's a beautiful chess piece. What you call him, that star player, that star role.
Yep.
He's going to come in and be a day 1 starter, impact player. I'd also like to somehow finagle and get a high safety. Now, if that's Lewis Seen out of Georgia, Daxton Hill's super versatile. So if it's Daxton Hill, we need to get a high safety. And then the next one somehow needs to be, I like DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. DeMarvin Leal or Logan Hall out of University of Houston. That's who I would like. Somewhere out of there. Those are like the 4 or 5 players that I'm keying in on. 3rd round, let's double back and see if Channing Tindall out of Georgia, I think who's the best linebacker at the University of Georgia, falls to us. I do like Leo, is it Chenille from Wisconsin? I can't really pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's more of a Mike. I don't think we have the biggest need for a Mike, but we need to get a will linebacker. I also like Harris out of Alabama. I like to get a backup tight end who can push TJ Hawkinson to that next level. So I would like to somehow come away with another tight end. We do need a swing tackle or a tackle who has versatility to bump in at guard if need be. We can take care of that, I believe, in like day 3. We don't need to go too high on that. I just wanted to mainly be all defense besides drafting 1 wide receiver and 1 offensive lineman. Everything else should just be defense impact players ready to come in and play. If we don't move back, as of right now, we have 5 picks. We have 5 picks. 5 picks in the top 100, I believe. It's either 4 or 5 in the top 100. And it's 4. Out of those 4, 3 of them need to be defense. That's where I want us to go. Defense heavy. But if we can't get out of that second pick, I don't. If Aiden Hutchinson failed to the second pick, I don't want him. Let's move up out of it. I really do. I don't want Kayvon. I don't want Kyle at 2. Not saying I don't want these players. I just don't want them at 2. If we can move back a couple spots and gain some more draft capital, then yeah, let's take these cats. But not at that 2 spot. I hope somebody falls in love with one of these quarterbacks, man. I really do. Just keep pumping up Malik Willis, small hands, Kenny Pickett. Pump them all up. Please, somebody come hit the Lions up.
Number 2, though, I don't know if anybody's going to take
Willis. I mean, Willis is this uber athlete. He has a big arm. He can throw 80 yards off his big toe. Like, yeah, let's get him. I want Willis. Somebody go get Willis. If we draft a quarterback, I don't want a quarterback. No, I don't. There's no need to go get one. There's no need to go get one. Only way I'm taking a quarterback is, let's say Desmond Ridder fell to the 3rd round. Okay, I'll pull the trigger then. But in those first 2 rounds, I don't even want to grab a quarterback in the 3rd. I don't want to go get a quarterback. We'll ride Goffle one more year, and this is going to be your test year. Now, we didn't put a solid receiving core around you. The O-line's intact. This is your 2nd year in the scheme. Now this is going to be your prove year, Goff. Like last year, I can't give Goff a really good grade last year because he didn't have much around him and the O-line was beat up. But this year, nah. And then we have enough draft capital next year. Let's say we fall in love with the kid from Ohio State or Alabama. You move those 2 picks to go get your quarterback then. These quarterbacks aren't worthy of wasting a 1st or 2nd round pick on. Like they not going to be we don't know for sure that they're going to be the guys to come in and just take us to the promised land. Nah, let's be real. I mean, I know you're not looking at a lot of these quarterbacks. I'm not either, really, because I don't believe in none of them.
I've seen enough to be. But here's the thing:
we're not taking a quarterback. We're not taking a quarterback
because it's possible, and I think you should at least like a guy or 2.
If there's a guy I'd like,
mind around the possibility that
Howell and Ritter, Sam Howell and Desmond Ritter, those are the 2. But I don't even want to take them in the 1st or the 2nd. We have way too many pressing needs to be going to get a quarterback who's going to sit a year. And then we don't even know if he can really just take us to the promised land. Like, is he going to be that much better than Goffle? I know that ain't hard to do, but no. Next year, then we can get a quarterback. What's up? Detroit fan, man. What's up, baby? What's up?
Got a question for Rad. With Hamilton's pro day raising red flags, I mean, did they? Maybe because he ran a slow 40.
He ran a 4.56. That's not slow. He's 6'4", 220.
And if no trade back material, okay, well, is he? Hold on, no, I know, but is he more of a like Simmons type, where he could be a hybrid? Like, what do you?
No, I honestly think he's like a Derwin James. Okay. Big, fast, can move around, make plays, aggressive. I like Hamilton.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot of Hamilton because
I like Hamilton.
Get there.
I like Hamilton. He can play high, slot, in the box. Like he's a good player.
Okay. If no trade back materializes, where are you at with moving Akuda to safety or a free agent Terrell Edmonds if the money's right, while grabbing Sauce at number 2, maybe?
Okay.
Like Sauce Gardner. What do you think?
Okay, Akuda to safety. I'm not against that because Akuda does like to tackle.
You've talked about Akuda to safety
I have because he's not scared to come in there and hit nobody. None of our corners, honestly, are scared to hit anybody. I personally probably would keep Akuda. I don't know. He could go either way, safety or corner, but I've seen the film, the little tape that came out day 192, and his footwork is getting good. It is looking really good. Like, because I'm 50-50 on the Akuda train. Jerry Jacobs, I feel like, could play some safety too. He's more of a big body DB who likes to hit and tackle. I could see him playing safety. If not, grab Terrell Edmonds from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not opposed to him either. If the money's right, if we can get you on a 1-year prove-it deal and under about $5 million a year, I'm cool with that. and grabbing Sauce at 2. I like Sauce, but I just don't know. Corner's not our biggest need. We're getting the Kuda back. We got Amani. We drafted Iffy in the 3rd round last year. Jerry Jacobs played very well, and AJ Parker. We really have like 5 solid corners. And with RB Pleasant as their DB cornerback coach, like, I don't really think we need to go out and waste that number 2 on pick on Sauce. Now, if we move back and grab Sauce, I'm not mad at that. But at 2, nah, I don't like it. I want to get out of 2.
Yeah, this is not the year to be at 2. Next year would be a great year to be at 2.
This is definitely not the year to be at 2. Last year was the year to be at 2. This year ain't the year to be at 2, man. It's like, God, nothing just plays right for the Lions. Nothing ever. Only thing that's like played right for the Lions is us laying in Megatron at 2. That's it. Yeah. It's never played well for us, man. Come on, football guys. They showing us some love. We finally on Hard Knocks. And we got the draft 2024. Hey.
That's gonna be dope. Hard Knocks gonna be fun. I can't wait for Hard Knocks because you and I are definitely gonna be talking about that.
It's about to go down on Hard Knocks. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped to see my guys. Then we got the draft in 2024. Only thing now, they need to start talking to the referees. Like, let us get a couple penalties, a couple calls, and go our way. Now, if the refs can start showing us some respect, we looking good.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna get to this one first. Chris Mason, what's a doable Detroit San Francisco trade that exists for each team? Yeah, we talked about it actually a little bit earlier. Dre Greenlaw to the Lions. I think that makes a ton of sense for, let's say, a 4th. I think
we don't have one.
Rad's on board. You don't have 4th?
We don't have a 4th. No. We got 2 thirds, a 2nd, and 2 firsts. Yeah, we do got 5 in the top 100. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so
I'll give you a 5th.
Maybe we kick you a 4th and Greenlaw for a 3rd. I don't know, something like that, or
a 5th. Let's just do a 5th.
A 5th and a future 4th.
No, there's no future. A 5th. You can have that. Here's the problem. Here's the problem
with talking to Rad. Here's the problem with talking to Rad about this stuff is he's very unrealistic. Did you just hear him say that he wants like one of the top 2 quarterbacks, but he wants them in the 3rd round? Like, this is what he does. Those aren't frugal.
Top 2 quarterbacks.
So
they're not even
frugal.
Those aren't even top 2 quarterbacks. The top 2 quarterbacks is like Willis and Pickett. Those is like number 4, number 5.
I'm just saying. This is what Rad does.
A 5th. I'll give you a 5th for him, bro.
He ain't going for a 5th. Anyways, Edgardo wants to know how we met. We met at work. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Rad is from a couple different places, really.
Michigan and Oklahoma.
Yeah, there we go. And so we worked together in Portland, Oregon. We played flag football together. So
basketball together.
What's that? Yeah, we hooped together. Everything. A little bit of thing. They love Red.
Good. I love y'all. I do. Even though most of y'all is crazy. Whoever likes Jimmy G is crazy. But I love you. You're just a little mental. Nothing wrong with being a little mental either.
We all are a little mental in our own ways. All right. 49ers. So I think they can go multiple different ways at that first pick, late round 2. I think that they can go either safety, right? And we just talked about a few of the guys. They can go safety. They can also go edge. And I think those are both positions of need, but also positions that are going to be rich, and there will be multiple guys to pick from at that spot. So I think that's probably the way that I would start, is either safety or edge. Then round 3, I really, 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 really like Marcus Jones out of Houston. This guy, I've liked him the whole process through for over about a month or so, month and a half now. I really want him. I think that he would be a game changer at nickel. Also, he's a special teams guy, ball hawk, extremely fast. I would love somebody like that. And then I really haven't gotten to later in the draft, but the positions that I would want the 49ers to get, they certainly need more receivers, no doubt about that. If they don't get an edge or a safety, well, quite frankly, if they don't get a safety early, they're kind of screwed. They better sign somebody because they don't have a starting safety. So they got to get a safety early. But if they don't get an edge or a safety early, they've got to get one later. They've got to get a wide receiver or 2. We've got 9 picks now. Figure it out. And they need some offensive line, preferably a center/guard, somebody that can come in this year and compete for a starting guard spot and then next year can play center when Mac retires. That would be ideal. So for me, that's what I'm looking at. Later rounds, wide receiver, maybe even a running back. Early on, I want to go nickel corner only if it's Marcus Jones. If it's not him, I don't care. I'm going safety, edge, and what else did I say? Safety, edge,
Wide receiver.
wide receiver. Oh, interior offensive line. Safety, edge, interior offensive line. Those are the priorities. After that, they do need to get a receiver or two. Running back, I'm sure that they're going to pick up because it's freaking Shanahan, and that's what I see happening. But we'll see. As we get
who do
closer,
you want though? Like if late second, do you want to address the edge or the safety first? Because safeties, I think, will probably be there at that second. What's y'all are late second, huh? Right? Because you made the championship.
Yeah, I think it's 63, and then 90 something is the next pick.
Y'all that late?
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, yeah, we made it to the NFC Championship, and we don't have a first rounder.
So late second, you could probably Kirby Joseph out of Illinois might be there.
I think Kirby Joseph might be there. I
Nick
think
Cross might be there too.
Nick Cross, that's probably the one. I like.
He's a big speedster.
I love.
I like Kirby Joseph too. He just doesn't have a lot of game film yet because
he doesn't. He doesn't show up. Speaking of, if you remember,
he's a playmaker though.
Speaking of, if you remember, Kirby Joseph got a breakdown of him on there. Yeah, Kirby Joseph, he's cool. I like him. I think what I read about him versus what I saw, I thought were slightly two different things. We can talk off camera about that.
Okay.
But just for me, not that I would be super disappointed if they got him, but I would rather go with Cross personally.
So
yes,
Cross
would be the guy.
What edge do you think will be there late in the second?
I think Boye Mafe could be there.
I don't like him.
Really? Why?
I just don't really like him too much.
I mean, he's got okay.
He had a solid little senior ball.
He's got a motor. I like guys with motors.
I do too. Obviously, a motor. You can't teach hustle. You can't teach motor. Like that's one thing.
We've got the best defensive line coach in the league.
He'll pull the most out of him.
He'll pull the most out of him. So
what about Kingsley Ingebar or whatever from South Carolina?
I haven't watched a lot of him yet. Right,
he's solid.
I've watched
Majay Sanders,
but I don't think Ebiketie will be there.
I think Majay Sanders will be there.
Yes, I do like Sanders. He would.
You like Sanders
as well? I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Who else? I like Nick Benito as well. He's a true
That's
wide
OU.
nine.
That's OU kid.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you're probably thinking Oregon.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
No. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Nick Benito. He's a true wide nine. He would be perfect to fill in for that D Ford role that we never got anything out of. So yeah, there's some guys there for sure. For sure, there's guys there. But right now, they don't have a starting. They need a starting safety.
Second round pick needs to be safety. Yes. Come back in the third, grab your edge.
Yeah. If it's
I think Majay will be there in the third.
If Majay is there in the third, then that perfect. That's a great way to start the draft. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yep. So that's the way that I would look at it. All right. We got to get into the showstopper. This is what we're here to talk about because a lot's happened this offseason. A lot of people make a lot of do about what the Rams did last year, how they went all in, how they don't have a first, second, or third round pick because of it. And now we're seeing the whole AFC go crazy. You've seen the Dolphins low-key go all in. That's a strange one. You've seen the whole AFC West. You've seen the Buffalo Bills. It reminds me of the NBA, right? They're making super teams over here, is what they're trying to do. And it's an interesting contrast to what the NFL has always done and the way that they've built teams traditionally. Now, it is a copycat league. I feel like these teams have gone a little bit more all in than even what the Rams did. The Rams, the way they did it was a little bit different. They would make some trades, kind of mid-season type thing. These teams are going all in during free agency, making the trades, doing whatever. So, with that being said, I don't know how long this trend lasts, but it is a trend right now.
It's forever.
What do you like? Do you like the traditional building of a team? Is that the route you would take? If you're a GM, you get a hold of a team right now, Detroit Lions, would you prefer that you use that draft capital that you have and take that quote unquote all in approach that NBA style approach, or do you like to build through the draft and go that route?
I'd say it's a mixture, just because draft picks don't always pan out. They really don't. It just depends on like what type of player you can get. So let's say the draft capital we got this year. I honestly probably would like move that 34th pick or that 32nd pick to go get like a proven player, like a proven. I'm trying to like think of a like an edge rusher. Let's say Daniel Hunter, because he was on the market for the Vikings for a while.
There you go.
I would take that 34th pick, which is our second round pick. I would give that to Minnesota for a proven pass rusher that I know is going to impact the game day one, as opposed to hoping and praying that we did enough scouting and the film's not lying to us. Our draft pick's going to hit. I'm a type, you know me, man. I done played Madden for about 20 years. I'm all about flipping and dipping. I'm going to trade those picks and go, I'm going to get proven players as opposed to hoping and praying that we hit on this draft. That's what I'm going to do. I like the new NFL. Hey, trade, do what you got to do to make it happen. Rams, like you said, the Rams did it a little bit. They started this a couple years back, but this offseason has been wild. This has been, I believe, the greatest offseason I've ever seen. Top-tier quarterbacks moving all around. Watson getting fully guaranteed money. The Jags signing everybody and their cousin. The Dolphins just stocking up. Like, the Dolphins is going to be something to be feared. Like, then paying Von Miller to Buffalo Bills, like getting all these big named heavy hitters. Las Vegas, I love it. This was just a dope free agency. I like what Vegas did. Vegas, they went and get Chandler Jones. Then they took Ngagwe and flipped him for a young corner because we don't need you no more, but we need a corner. That's like some Madden type moves, and I love it. Flip them. Just keep flipping these players out to get what you need to get, which at the end of the day is a Super Bowl ring. So no, I'm the type I'm going to use that draft capital. I'm going out to get me somebody that's proven. I'm not no old vet. I need you to at least be about 27 or younger so I can at least know I'm getting about 3 to 4 good prime years out of you, because that's when that contract year is about to come up for that rookie anyways, 4 years down the line. So no, I want to go get that proven player all day, every day. If we can make the money work, I'm going to make the trades work. Oh, I like it. Hold on now. Hold on.
Go coin that.
Hold on now. No, really. Let's move them pieces, bro. I want to get out of the number 2 pick. I can't think of somebody I would just like say I want that number 2 pick for, who's just, it probably will never happen. TJ Watt. Let's say he on the market. Oh, you can have this number 2 pick. What else you need? Give me TJ Watt, because I know he's about to impact the game right now. He's to be feared. So yes, I'm gonna move my picks to go get proven players right now. 100%. And I love this free agency. This has been a dope, not free agency. It ain't been the dopest for us, but this offseason's been beautiful. Dangerous, moving around, quarterbacks. I loved it.
It's the most fun I've ever had during an offseason. No doubt about that.
I love it.
Ariel wants to know what site we use when we mock draft.
I use PFF and
I use PFF too, but they're a little bit slower to catch up.
The Draft Network. I use the Draft Network and PFF. That's what I use. Yeah. The Draft Network, you have to pay in order to get trades, to make trades.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I use.
Lotha wants to know how you became a Lions fan. He wants to know, is it because of Barry Sanders?
No, I was born in Pontiac, Michigan. I lived there till I was 11. I got to see Barry play back in the Silverdome. Herman Moore. I just grew up a Lions fan. I remember when we made it to the NFC Championship in 91. I was 7 years old. I just remember like going to parties with my mom and stuff. And I do remember losing, how the city was just kind of dead. Also, like, you know, because they thought we had a good chance of winning it that year. The Washington Reds went on and won it that year. So that's why I'm a diehard Lions fan. And just, you know, I ride with my team. 0-16 and all. I'm always going to be Honolulu blue and silver. You got to be a real mofo to stick with the Lions. Real talk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Can't be no fraudulent in you. Like, you either riding with us or ain't no halfway in, halfway out with us. So that's why I'm a diehard Lions fan and I always will be.
There's no such thing as halfway crooks, right?
Oh, okay. My D. Okay, shook one.
It's a great song, by the way. All right.
It's that beat and everything that comes in.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely filthy. It's definitely
So
filthy.
I mean, tell me what are you? How would you build a team? Are
I
you gonna
agree.
build through the draft, or are you gonna
You
flip
have
and
to be a
dip?
little bit of both. But if I'm taking over a team that has a long way to go, I'm
Lions,
building through the draft.
go
Lions.
Lions.
I'm building through the draft. Now, once I feel like that team's ready to go all in, that's when I start trading those picks. Like I look at it and say, okay, we are very competitive now. We just came off of a playoff run. Based off of what we've seen, I think we can compete for a Super Bowl. We're 2 moves away. I'm going to make sure that I get those moves through guys that are already producing in the league, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm going to go all in. So I do think that you have to have a little bit of both. You can't just come in, have a crappy team and just trade everything away and pick up a bunch of guys. That's not I don't think that that's long-term sustained
Yeah,
success.
you gotta have a nice little
You
core.
have to have something. You have to have a
You gotta
good
have a
core.
core.
Then
We got a
you can
core.
build around,
I
right?
feel like we have a core.
So, like, I'll give you an example. The Niners in 2019, I thought that they did it perfectly, right? Because they had already had Kittle, they had Warner. At that time, they had Staley. Jimmy, we still weren't sure about, but a lot of people, we thought, hey, he's coming off
You
that
had
injury,
that's
he's
when you got
healthy,
the
he's that
tattoo.
guy, whatever, right? They had
Yep.
just drafted Debo, they had Buckner, they had just drafted Bosa. They hit, then what they did, they went and traded for D Ford during that offseason
I
before
remember
the
that.
Super Bowl run.
Remember
Then
that.
they signed Quan Alexander. Then they got about, I think it was like 5, 6 games in. They realized, oh, we're really good. Let's add one more receiver. And then they traded for Sanders. So that's the way that I envision it. I think the 49ers played it perfect. Now, they didn't win a Super Bowl. I understand that, but they got to a Super Bowl and they took their shot. They really took their shot. The end result wasn't what they wanted, but they were so very close. That's how I would do it, is go all in once I've got that talent accumulated. I realize, oh, this is a good team. Boom, let's make a mid-season trade, put us over the top. That's where I'm at with it. So for me, I
Okay.
think you want to have sustainable success. And you can't, again, if you're trading your draft picks for guys that you've got to pay a lot of money, you can't build depth. That's the other part. Is teams that win usually have some big name guys that are inexpensive, not getting paid yet, so that you have that depth. Because once that depth goes, that's usually when Super Bowl teams start to fall off. That's when you start to see that window close. Now they're competitive. Seattle's a great example of that. Super deep team when they won the Super Bowl. Once guys started getting paid, they were still always competitive. They were right there, but they just never were able to get over the top again. And that's what you see happen a lot. So it's got to be that perfect mixture. I also think the Rams going quote unquote all in is a bit overblown. They had the most picks from 2017 through last year from the second round on. It was like the second most picks out of the whole NFL. So they
Mm-hmm.
definitely built through the draft. Last year, they certainly went all in with some of their trades. What we're seeing from these guys right now is a whole different level. Like they're taking it to a whole new level, straight NBA style. And by the way, all the teams that are doing it are in the AFC. Only one of y'all can make a Super Bowl now. So there's going to be a lot of you that are very disappointed and it didn't
It's
work out for.
loaded, bro. The
I
AFC.
know.
So last year, like the NFC, we could have had quite a few teams that, if they went to the Super Bowl in the NFC, you'd be like, you know what? I could see them getting there. Like y'all was there, Green Bay, Bucks, Rams. I believe there was like maybe one more because the AFC was kind of weak. Like we was like, oh, it's the Chiefs,
Yeah.
maybe the Bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody ever seen the Bengals really
And
making
then
it.
the Bengals
But
came out of nowhere. Yeah.
right, Cinderella. But next year, this coming season, the AFC is about to be loaded, bro. Loaded.
Yeah.
NFC, Niners, Bucks,
Rams. That's it.
Rams. Like I'm not even Green Bay. I don't think for real. Like they lost a lot, and we're gonna see if AR-12. AR-12 has been known to
Well, they
elevate
go get
people.
like a DK Metcalf, all of a sudden things change again, right? But for
Let's not even
now,
talk. Don't speak that into existence. Don't even put that in the universe. We're gonna edit that out, everybody. Real quick though, Swag song. He keeps wanting me to grade a mock draft. Where's the mock draft at, Swan Song? Appreciate you being a member too. He threw that.
He called in last night.
He threw that in the track. He threw that in there a lot. I was like, "Where's it
Actually,
at?"
hey, Swan Song. Okay,
he just did one.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
So
like,
Swan
where's it at?
Swan Song. Hit him on Twitter. There's his handle right there below him at @rad_LSS. Hit him on Twitter. He'll respond.
I'll grade it.
Grade. Yep,
I grade it, baby.
That's dope.
Let's see how you doing it. Let's see. The chat is pumping.
It is pumping.
Night.
It is pumping. We appreciate all the support, everybody. Great night. Had a lot of fun again, Rad. Can't wait to do it again next Thursday.
Always.
But we're approaching 5,000 now. We're trying to get there. We're getting close to that 5Gs.
We moving.
So thank you all for the support. Thank you all for the help. I know I think right now we're sitting at about 52% that watch don't actually subscribe, but they watch on a regular basis. Just hit that subscribe. It's free. It's free. It shows support. Help get us to 5,000. We appreciate y'all. Have a fantastic night. And I'll be back next Tuesday. You'll be back Monday.
Me and my guy Dose of Dion doing last second dose. What we do the most, talking Lions. You heard? Hey, hit that subscribe and like for us. I don't know. You know, man, I just be off the,
okay.
It's all off the dome.
Yeah.
They call me one take Drake.
Hey, that's big praise. Grant's my guy, but hey, thank you. That is huge praise. I appreciate you. That's dope.
Grant's super solid. We appreciate y'all tapping in, though. Click that like button for us. Hit subscribe. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, and get them all in.
Absolutely. Peace.
I keep flowing. Man, we might need to keep going.